Have you ever been hurt by someone? The kind of hurt that comes with bitterness and pain. It's natural that we want to respond, by paying the person back in their own coin. Like you want to defend yourself. But there's a point you get to whereby you forgive and let go. Not because the person deserves it, but because you've experienced the immense grace of God. This leads you to let it go. You want to give them grace in return. In this episode, we are going to explore what security in God truly looks like. So, pain and bitterness are very strong emotions, they are very painful emotions. And naturally, when things like this happen, when we are hurt, we want to defend ourselves, we want to fight back. That's why we have agencies like freedom fighters, like advocacy, agencies and organizations that fight for your rights, fight for freedom. But on the other hand, there's also another point where you get to that you have a deep relation and understanding of God's grace and of God's love. And this revelation brings a profound sense of security. So, what does security really mean? According to the dictionary meaning of security, is the state of being free from danger or threat. So, what does it truly mean to experience security in God? You begin to experience security in God when you fully surrender your life to God, fully surrendered your will, like you trust Him to direct the course of your life. You surrendered your emotions, you surrendered your plan, you surrendered your life. As human beings, we have the tendency to want to be independent and do things ourselves. When you get to a point of security in God, it means that you surrendered your life to Him, you surrendered your ambitions to Him, you surrendered your life, and like you surrendered to Him that he is the one you want Him to direct the course of your life. So you trust Him to provide, you trust Him to protect you, you trust Him to fight for you, you trust Him that He would defend you. It also means that you've gained understanding that is your defender. So that feeling of wanting to fight for yourself, wanting to protect yourself and defend yourself, you relinquish that control to God. God is big enough and powerful enough to protect you and protect you from any harm. Another stage or level you get to is that you gain understanding of where you are coming from. Like you truly take note of your life, like fully examine your life, where you used to be and where you are right now. And the reason why you are thinking differently and not acting like the person that is hurting you is acting is because you've experienced the grace of God. It's because you've experienced, you know, the you've experienced the changing and transformatory power of God. Like God has literally changed your life. And the reason why you are not acting like the person is acting is because God has changed you. And you know that if they also experience God like you've experienced God, then they would do better. They would not the person might also have been hurt or have been bullied in the past or have just had a rough life. And you that you've experienced, you might also have been hurt and been bitter and experienced a hard or a harsh life. The reason why the experiences of life has not made you is not making you to act negatively, it's because God has healed you, it's because God has protected you, He has shielded you, and you have a correct understanding of who He is, who you are now in Him. Finally, this understanding leads you to even pray for them like Jesus did when He was at the cross and He was being persecuted, and a lot of things were happening. People were raining curses on Him and saying different things. He was beaten, he was bruised, he was like he was being judged like he was a criminal. And Jesus Christ was blameless, but He understood why He was in that position, and he understood, he had a correct understanding of what was happening. And what did Jesus Christ do? Jesus Christ prayed. He prayed for them, and he said, Father, forgive them. Like he said God should forgive them because they didn't know what they were doing. And he was right, they didn't know. But Jesus Christ knew, and he said that God should forgive them. This is a very, very, it's not easy to get to this point. It's a journey. Like, you don't just arrive at this point where you pray for your enemies like that overnight. It's takes a process and a walk with God and a relationship with God. God literally changes you to a point where you pray for your enemies. It brings you to a point of understanding, a point of immersed gratitude for the grace that you have. Like, you see this grace that you have as something that is so beautiful that not everybody has. And because you have it, you have this grace so that you can extend it to others. You have the grace of God so that you can forgive others, so that you can lead others to Christ. The life that you have, the victory and the miracle of you knowing God like you know God, it's a miracle, it's a grace. Not everybody has that, and you've been given so that you can extend that same grace to others. Powerful. It's a journey with God, and it's also really exciting. That's all for this episode. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'm going to see you in my next video. Bye.